Okay, my first time doing a crypto video. I normally do gaming videos, but I just wanted to give people an experience of what it was like to be in previous bull runs in cryptocurrency, so you can kind of understand where we're at in the current cycle. Um, and the way I want to do that is by watching you experience the chart and watching the moves as they happen on a replay of the charts in Bitcoin's history. So I'll start the video running, I'll start the chart running, um, and show you what I'm on about. So here we have the chart. I'll start it running. Weekly candles, Bitcoin USD, and this is Bitcoin from 2011. That's when the charting software started, the exchanges started. As you can see, it's moving along pretty flat. Don't forget, it's been pennies before this and pounds before this. So this is its first big move here in August 2012. Well, not its first big move, but it's big, the first one that's been charted. So as you can see, it went up to $16, which at the time was a massive, was a massive top, $16. And as you can see, it moved along, and people thought that was the biggest it's ever going to be. People were thinking that in previous highs, but as you can see, shortly afterwards, it had another big move off the chart. You can't even see it on the chart now. So that 16 was massive. Now look at, we're up to $260. We're 16.5 times increase in the last high, which was only in August of 2013. 2012. 2013 by April, we'd had a 16.5 times increase. Then by October of 2013, we had a 4.5 times increase from the previous high. Along here, people were thinking it was going out of business. It was never going to do anything again. And the cycle repeats from here. So 1,163, another 4.5 times increase. So you're talking a 21-fold increase from the previous high, not from the low, from the previous high. It was a 21-fold increase. When I'm saying about from the high to the current, from previous high to current highs, when I take the multiple from. So that's the high then in 2013. We're in 2014 now, and it's crashed. Crashed even further. And obviously, people are like lost interest now. They think that's it. It's had its big move. Just it's not going to do anything. It's going to get banned. You know, um, people just don't like it at all. And people who do like it are thinking, well, I think it's over with now. It's done for. Like I've met anybody who was going to ever make money in Bitcoin has made the money, and now it's too late. So lost interest altogether. But now it's starting to rise up again, so people are getting a little bit more interested in it again now. But there's a lot of people that bought on the way up here and they're waiting to get out. So when it starts to get into these levels here, you see a lot of resistance because people are just trying to get the money back. They get the money back, and what they don't know is Bitcoin is going to go up again. It's going to have another move like this, but obviously people don't think it is. People have lost hope in it now. And then you see it broke the high at this level. It tried to get above it, failed, come down, had another go, and just broke massively through. So I'll keep the old high on 1163. 1163 goes up. You saw a massive move then already. It's gone off the chart again. Right up above, off the chart. You can't even, it makes this move look like a blip now, this 1163. Got up to 20,000 roughly. 16.7 fold increase. That's twice it's done nearly a 20-fold increase, from the one I've just shown you before to now. Then it has its crash, has a massive crash right down. People are now thinking what people thought here. Well, anybody that bought into Bitcoin has made the money now. You're lucky sausages. You made your money, like, and now you're out of it, like living a glorious lifestyle now with all your riches. Same psychology as it was in the past. It's never going to do anything. It's going to get banned. It's going to go to zero. All these comments happening in the Bitcoin world at that time. And this actually is when you should be buying the crashes. Everyone's telling you it's going to zero. So from this point forward, anybody tells you Bitcoin is going to zero, unless something was actually wrong with the physical code of Bitcoin or the algorithm. When things are going to zero and it's crashing and burning, you got to clue yourself in. That's when you've got to be fighting your psychology and buying as much as possible for its next bull run, which is that every 4 years there's a halving where the production of Bitcoin earned by the miners for solving the algorithm, that's the problem that's presented by the algorithm, is halved. So there's half of the amount of Bitcoin going into circulation, which is what has a big impact on the price. So again, it got near its high, didn't have much resistance near its high. And this is 2020 now. It shot up 65,000 from roughly, say, 20,000 to 65,000, 3.35 fold increase, which, as I've just shown you in the chart, a 5 times increase in the price of Bitcoin is chump change in the history of Bitcoin. We've had 20-fold increases, 15-fold increases. That's why people have made money out of Bitcoin. A 3.5-fold increase in Bitcoin is massive for any other stock, shares, forex. There's nothing been done that in history. You could trade everything, and if anything was making money, you need £1 million portfolio before they even let you buy into it. This, you can buy into it with a couple £100 if you wanted to. That's what I think the fair thing about Bitcoin is. But as you see now, it's 65,000. It come down. It was, instead of carrying on down, it had another spurt. People were getting excited. They were testing here to see if there was any stop losses up here to shoot it up again. Obviously there weren't. So it started to come back down, entered its normal cycle again. Down here, everybody, same thing. Bitcoin's going out of existence. It's going to get banned. All sorts happening. But in this current cycle, 2023, in this current cycle, it's been the most accepted and legitimized. You can actually buy Bitcoin now without your bank account, which you couldn't do in history. You couldn't buy Bitcoin out your bank account. You get your bank account shut, and they thought it would. That's how hated it was. Is your bank would literally shut your bank account if you tried to buy Bitcoin with it, or they thought you sent money to a Bitcoin exchange. They just shut your account. So here we are now. We're in 2024, beginning of this year. It peaked above, got some resistance, come down, tried to peak above the previous high, peaked above it, come down, got fought back. Did this for a while. Now it's off the chart. So now, what I'm trying to get across to you, the psychology is, people are saying 100,000 that's going to be the high and it's going to come down. Now you've just watched it. You've physically just watched it yourself. You've watched the history of Bitcoin and what it does when it breaks its high. So you tell me, is 100,000 going to be its high? That's for you to decide. Personally, I don't think so. Based on all the bull runs I've been through up to now, you saw how high off the chart it was and what a blip it made the previous high look. To make the previous high look like a blip, you're talking about something like this to make it look like a blip, and you're talking about it being up here. So I've done a conservative estimate here. If it just does three times like it did at the last bull run, if it just does that, 195,000, that's just that. if it does what it's done in previous times, 15, 20-fold increases, then you're up here. You know, you're up at 600,000 and stuff. You're up to this to make this look like a blip, like it always has done before. You're up at 500,000-600,000. But let's be conservative and just think a realistic figure for Bitcoin is this, based on the previous history. I mean, do you agree with me or not? It's up to you. But also, the question you also may be asking yourself is like, so when it breaks its high and goes above its high, like who in the right mind is buying it up here? Who's going to buy it? You know, like they're going to lose at some point, obviously. Well, my theory, you know, pretty good theory, is what happens is there's people that have got enough money, enough leverage to move the market. And as you can see in previous moves, you get your up move, down move, up, down, up. It doesn't just go up in a straight line. And basically what happens is once you've got a move that creates this high point here, there'll be traders that think when it gets to this point, it'll have a big move down, and they'll put positions on thinking that this is going to happen. It's short selling, and just above that point, because they're in leverage, they can't afford not to have a stop loss. They have a stop loss, and if the stop loss gets triggered, it causes them to be liquidated, making them a buyer of Bitcoin, not the seller that they wanted to be. So people that can move the market push it past the stop losses to trigger this big move. So you see here, it went down, then people started buying it, pushed it up past this little line now, trying to trigger a stop loss. They triggered a stop loss, shot it up. They tried to do the same again here. It came down, sent it up, tried to look for stop losses again. There was none, so it come back down again, had another move up. But it's the stop losses of the short sellers getting triggered that is what's happening. They're not actually buyers. The traders pushing to find short sellers that have got stop losses, triggering them. So basically, if they buy a bit of Bitcoin here, just buy it. If they trigger a stop loss, it's like winning lottery for them, because they then get free money. It might send it up, say it sends it up another 20,000 and they've got an highly leveraged position on. They've had to buy a little bit here to push it up to its stop loss. That makes the short sellers liquidated, makes them a buyer, a forced buyer. So they bought a bit here, it sends it up 20,000. Then them people that pushed it to here, then they sell, causing this red move here. Then what they've got to do is start buying it back. When it's come down, start buying it back at a cheaper price. Start buying it back. Let it do its thing, and then finally push it up past the previous high point to find where the stop losses are here. Push it up past, and then try the thing again here. It didn't work. It only got 3.5 times here, but in previous times it's happened multiple times, and sent it up 15, 20-fold. So this is just an estimate of what it does if it just did one of the smallest bull runs in Bitcoin's history. If it just does the smallest bull run in Bitcoin history, you're looking at 195,000. If it's doing a bigger move, like it's done in history, 10 to 20-fold increase, you're looking at more like 600,000 to make that look like a blip. Okay, so I hope you're all well, and I hope you got the nerve to stay in and make some money like I've done in some bull runs. See ya. Bye bye.